Welcome to Beyond the Mat, where we talk about life beyond the mat. We put our martial arts experiences and we translate those into our real life experiences. Today, we're joined by Lucas Zuarte, black belt head instructor at Gracie Barra Orem. Let's go ahead and bring my friend in. Professor, how you doing?
Very good, my friend. How's everything?
Everything is fine. It feels like I haven't seen you in a while.
I know, right? It's great to have you here on Utah on the fest like few days ago.
Yeah.
But it's always great to see you again.
You know, I always tell you, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there. I'm going to stop telling them I'm just going to go. Perfect timing because I wanted you to come in and chat with me today. So wanted to have that as a key.
Nice, Nate. That was great. It was a great surprise over here. I was teaching the kids class and out of the sun show up was an amazing surprise. I'm very excited to be here with you. I've been following your podcast, since the first episode. I get a great people, good friend of mine who already went to your podcast. So it's all a good talk and I'm very excited for this.
Thank you, Professor. I appreciate that. You talk about the kids. You started jiu-jitsu at the age of 9. What made you find your way into jiu-jitsu?
Well, I started, like you say, I started at age 9. And then for me, it was just like most of the kids on the school. It's like sometimes you don't have the option. It's just like a parent knows that like that's important for you. And that's basically how I start. My dad and my mom knew it like how important jiu-jitsu could be to my life back at the time, but I was being bullied and everything. It was something that was very important. And then I always hear about jiu-jitsu, and then to the day that my dad put me at the school and then I started jiu-jitsu. Since then I never stopped. So I always share this with the kids. I hated jiu-jitsu for 3 years of my life, and then after I started liking. So it's okay. Some days you don't want to be here as long as you give your best no matter what.
Did you said 3 years, so that'll put you at the age of 12, and you mentioned bullying. Was that kind of like the motivation? You just kind of got fed up with people being unnecessarily mean to you?
Yes, I grew up in Brazil. I grew up in a bad neighborhood. It was not one of the worst, but it was still bad. And being over there around the kids, how the kids goes, and then start just being a little more of a bully. Back at the time, I was like a little more of a chubby kid, and then they was like trying to make fun of me and everything whenever we play all the sports as well. So that was definitely something that put my dad and my mom on, tell me to go to jiu-jitsu. And they always say that mind is busy is always good. So it's another thing that I would be able to do to keep my mind busy and don't go on the bad part that it could be happening like any other my friends would go back at the time.
That's always a good saying. I learned that when I was coming up. If the mind is busy, you don't have time or the room to get into anything else. Coming up, you felt very confident and you were pro competition. You like to compete. Where did that come from?
Well, so since even though I didn't like jiu-jitsu as I was a little kid, like when I started, my dad put me in a first competition right after 5 months of jiu-jitsu. No, sorry, 3 months of jiu-jitsu. He put me a first competition. My professor told me like he has to do it, and then they put me on it, and that's basically how I start. And I had a good experience. I end up winning that first match over there, but still not taking jiu-jitsu very seriously. So it's like again, it was like a push of my parent telling me like, you gotta go. And then he didn't tell me until one day before. He's like, you competing tomorrow? I was like, what? I was like, oh, okay, I guess. So that's basically how it got me started. And then when I started really focusing, I started to see the value since the first day over there. Even though I didn't take jiu-jitsu too serious when I was like a little kid, I saw the value over there. I was like, okay, I see how this can be important to me to take a little more serious, fight somebody that does actually want to fight me too, and then making friends. So like most of the people that I fought, it was end up being my friend right afterwards, and it was a good time.
It's funny how the sport of jiu-jitsu is like that. I mean,
Mhm.
you could have a tough match or a tough fight with an opponent, and then after that, it's all love. After that, I think that's what I enjoy most about jiu-jitsu is that it's a familiar place for a lot of people.
Yes.
You said coming to USA was a dream. Why was that such a dream for you?
Man, you know, people that come from Brazil, I think they're gonna identify this like even more. Whenever you start taking jiu-jitsu very seriously, to the point like you want to do this, you wanted to start maybe teaching, you wanted to be a competitor, compete in everything. They see how Brazil was not ready to support that much of like experience. You know, as much as we have a lot of athletes that come from there, the value is not the same. You know, at least it wasn't. And you start to get better right now, and I see all like a bunch of friends and my professors who all telling me like if you want to do jiu-jitsu, you need to get out of Brazil and start to go the world over there. And jiu-jitsu was already huge, you know. So I see a lot of the people that I look up to already here competing the world. So like I would end up being here anyways. But since I wanted to like take a little more deep into it, I started understanding how to teach the classes. I started having other things besides the competitions to order to help me achieve the goal that I have. And then being in the United States for me is like it's a dream come true. I never knew it if it was gonna be where exactly it wanna be. I knew it. I knew it would like go get out of Brazil for sure, but I just didn't know when and how. I just knew I have to work hard for it. So that's all I did from 13 years old all the way to 18. That's when I arrived here.
Who was your mentor? Who kind of helped you along the way that you just really trusted to basically put your life in their hands to guide you to your accomplishments?
And I've been very lucky in my life. I had towards my jiu-jitsu journey that I've been doing for basically 16 years almost. I have a lot of good people around me, so that's something that I'm like very lucky about it. I have one of my first professors was Professor Aragon. Right now, he teaches at Gracie Barra Liverpool in Australia. He's a great mentor. He was an amazing person to push me very hard onto the game, show me a lot of dedication, like you gotta be here no matter what. Then I ended up moving to a bigger city because I started in Teresópolis, like a small city in Brazil, Rio de Janeiro, and then I moved to Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, which is a much bigger city. He ended up being one of my main professors as well, which is Professor Vili from Guicebarra Jacarepaguá, which also is Professors Norat, professors as well. So like we all kind of come from that area. He's amazing. He's been there for 20 years, and he was a great mentor. It's like how to guide everybody to be training, be responsible, teaching the classes, and how everything works. And then like the person I've been always talking the most and then listen to a lot is definitely my right now my professor, which is Professor Flavio. You know, Flavio Almeida, we all meet, a great person to be around. You know, him, Professor Dave, Professor Felipe, all of them. They're amazing people to be around, to sit down and chat. Sometimes I make a joke and then like, how much do I owe you after this conversation? Like it's just like, I don't know, like how much do I owe you? Exactly. Like, tell me
Yep.
because I have learned so much
Yep.
in a good conversation. And so in our days right now, like that's most of the people that I've been trusting. And since the United States, I'm right here. I'm not in Brazil. My trust has developed more towards Professor Flavio, Dave, and Professor Felipe for sure.
I laugh, Professor, because it sounded like your dad all over again. You know, you're getting questioned. You know, how much did you learn? And your dad telling you a day before a tournament. It's kind of the way that I think that you're disciplined, that you're always ready. And I
Hmm.
know for certain that people appreciate you here in Arizona, especially with Professor Flavio. You know, everybody was up in arms and sad that you were leaving to go to Utah. And I happened to have a conversation with him. He said, "Hey, he's great and he deserves this opportunity." I thought that was very special for him to say that.
Yeah, yeah. It was very hard. Like whenever that move, we decided to do that. Back at the
Hmm.
time, the talk was since like 2021 that we have like a plan to do something, but we never like push the trigger and everything.
Hmm.
Me and my wife, we always talk. Bruna, she's basically my main mentor every day.
Right.
Listening, listen to a
Yep.
lot of like craps that I might have to talk, and then a lot of good things and bad things. So it's definitely one person without of it, I couldn't be even half.
Yep.
And then, but we always like trying to understand like what is the next push, what were we looking for. So Professor David Flavio does help a lot on that. And whenever we decided to move, and that's when it hits, and I started to see like how many like good people that I will be leaving, but not really. We still be closing. So for me, it was like that was like the hardest part for me, not moving from Arizona to Utah because I already knew a lot of people from here. Uh, but more of the people that I have by my side every single day over there back in Gracie Barra, Peoria. You were there as well, one of my students,
Yep.
since you start, and then we are a big family over there. We still is, so something that
For sure.
I'm glad that like everybody has been training and been focusing and everything. So that's something that I try always to get together. Like more than anything, we need to trust each other. We need to be a big family. So we get happy with the results, and then sometimes we get mad and selfish because you want that person right next to you every single day. But
Hmm.
sometimes like that's the biggest thing for you, like let that person fly a little bit, so that way it's gonna be a good thing for you. So whenever somebody has a dream, it doesn't matter how much you love them, how much you care about them, to be right next to you, I think it's something that you let them dream, don't destroy their dreams, because as soon as you do that, you're doing something very bad for that person. So somebody has a dream about it, push forward, encourage them, help them with everything that you can. I know that it might gonna hurt you for firm reasons, like, man, I want this person right next to me every day. But that's like, his dream is he's gonna be happy. So that's something that I was happy about too.
I always tell people that you're the reason that I train jujitsu. But in all honesty, I walked through that door, but you're the person that kept me training jujitsu. Right when I first started, I had some issues going on, and I had to take some time away. And you're one of
Hmm.
the few people that always checked on me. Hey, brother, we miss you. Come back, come see us. I really appreciate that, and that's really where the love is that I have for you, because I know you care about me, and I know other
Yes.
people do as well. You can see by the amount of students that go back to visit you. Juan Carlos just got his brown belt, and he wanted you to take part in that celebration. How does that make you feel to hear the words from me and to feel the love from other people?
Man, it feels something that I can't even describe. I think like some of the feelings that you just can feel in the moment. Whenever I see people coming from Arizona to visit him in Utah, and then not only me but other people that you haven't met before because they just started jiu-jitsu here, they can feel how much Gracie Barra is. That's just much more than jiu-jitsu. you know yes, jiu-jitsu, fighting, all those things are very cool. That's might be one of the reasons you started, because you want to like learn how to defend yourself, want to lose weight, you want to do like so many other things. But the community that we build and how strong we can get together with the people that we start to know, that's what kept you going. Like, so that's what for me, like, that's always I care about, because I remember when I would struggle like some days in the order to go to train, I always have a good friend to tell me, to call me, to like, hey man, stop, just go train, just stop whatever you're doing, just let's go train. One of them, you guys know, is Professor Thiago Azo. We grew up together, and then none of us could be missing a day of training because you already give crap about us. Like, man, that's why we smash you. That's why I pass your guard, because you're not going to train, man. You
Yeah.
gotta go train. And then
Yeah.
it really, we will do that on purpose because we knew it, our own goals. So as more you be around the people with the same value that you have, that care, you understand each other's goals, and you'll be able to push each other. So whenever I see people visiting, or when I go to Arizona and I see the feeling, it just like there's no words. I'm just very happy, and then that's why I'm always trying to show because I really am.
I think that's awesome, and I hope that your current students in Orem understand the impact that you have on people back here in Arizona, and from a kid. You've been doing this for a while. Do you see yourself getting back into heavy competition?
That's one of my dreams. I've been talking to actually a lot of my students, been asking, "Hey, professor, when you going to come back in the tournaments and everything?" For me, like in the past 2 years, 3 years, I've been really focused on Gracie Barra and make sure this is gonna be established and everything. You start to get it to the point they start to run into the
Congratulations,
group
by the
chat.
way. Congratulations.
Thank you. And so I believe in next year is something that I'm gonna start focusing more, definitely competing more, and hopefully one of my goals that I do have next year is compete the Nogi Worlds. That's gonna be like long term because Nogi Worlds already gonna be happening right now. So I'm gonna give myself a year to prepare myself, be the best that I can, and then go there, have some fun, and meet some good people in jiu-jitsu and then fight them for sure. But I'm gonna make sure that I'm ready too. That's something that I have for next year, one of the tournaments, but just getting back into the feeling, everything. I never stopped competing. Like just this year, I haven't competed too much. Maybe I compete 3 times, but I'm trying always to show the students that competition is something important. It's not necessarily, I'm not telling them like it's forced you to do competition, but if you have that feeling of a little bit like, would I would do it? I think you can prepare yourself, do it. So that's something that one of my goals is definitely go back to competition next year. So 2024, hopefully gonna be a good year.
I was talking to Professor Narat, and he was saying just exactly what you just said about being able to train and get ready for Worlds or whatever the major championship is, and it's all about the school. He wants to make sure that his school is in good running order, and I hear the same thing from you. That's a very selfless thing from two athletes in their prime that could be out competing. I think that says a lot. Is that the purpose to show those around you and by your side? This is my dedication to you first.
Yes, 100%. I say this a lot to my students. Like, I always want to make you better than me. That's every single day, every day. That's my goal. Like, if you're better than me, I'm doing the right job. If you're not better than me, I'm gonna find a way to make it because if I can make somebody better than myself, I know they're gonna be doing the same with others. So it's just like keeping the legacy alive. That's what Master Carlos Gracie Jr. has said since he started Gracie Barra. A lot of people don't know, but Master Carlos Gracie Jr. Didn't have like a lot of students in the beginning, but he always focused on getting them better than himself, and then it turns to what Gracie Barra is. So for me, that's like the most important thing. Even though I love competition, I can focus on myself and be 100%. But I always think about the young men's and women's, kids, adults that can have the beneficial of jiu-jitsu, and they're gonna need my energy onto them because I know how much that is important. So that's sometimes what I need to focus on. I know sometimes it hurt, like man, I'd rather be competing, but when I see like my student having a good time, winning a tournament, accomplish something that is not a tournament, they just accomplishing something in life and then losing weight, being happy in the school, making friends, the kids stop being more, like they start to speak up a little bit more. That's what make me happy, and that's like my work title. That's like when I see that is much bigger than a gold medal in the world championship. It's something that I value most. So it's just more like with the value.
Love it. Jiu-jitsu for everyone. Tell me what jiu-jitsu for everyone means to Professor Zusa.
For me, it's just give a jiu-jitsu a try. A lot of people thinks the wrong thing about jiu-jitsu because they never try it. That was even myself when my dad told me that, oh, you're gonna do jiu-jitsu. I was like, man, I don't want to be hugging other guys. That's like my first thought. As a 9 years old, I was like, I don't want to be hugging somebody. They're
Yeah.
like, why do I be hugging someone? But it's more than this, you know. It just give jiu-jitsu a try for everybody. I mean, you know, I've been teaching jiu-jitsu since I was 13 years old, and I met so many kids, men's, women's, everybody. They have struggles on their life, but they also have something to share, you know. So when you do jiu-jitsu, you start to understand how to do this, and then you start to become a better version of yourself. I'm not telling you that you're gonna have to be better than anybody. You know, I'm telling you that you have to be the best version of yourself. Doesn't matter what it is, but you're gonna have to find out. And that's what jiu-jitsu for everyone is. You know, it gives you a better version of yourself, and you're gonna really like it. So on the things goes bad or good, doesn't matter what the day, you know, come, keep giving the trust, keep trying, because you will not regret it for sure. It's a long-term journey. I always say
Hmm.
this: it's a long-term journey. You know, if you looking only to get better in the next 6 months, you will get better in jiu-jitsu, but you're not gonna probably not gonna see a lot of things different from yourself. You know, but when you see like more years and years of training, you're gonna see your jiu-jitsu is still very good. Don't get me wrong, but yourself gonna you're gonna be much more appreciated, like the person that you just already have become.
I think people that train jujitsu, fight jujitsu, deep down they feel that, and we're so automatic with it right now because we've been doing it so long. Sometimes you can't even notice, you know, the improvements that you're making in your life, you know, and the safety aspect and learning your way around the school and fellowshipping. I do want to ask you, Professor, about the rise in the female athlete. What do you think caused the big, huge influx of females giving jujitsu a try?
I think the world has changed so much, and in jiu-jitsu, especially in Gracie Barra, has shared so much how jiu-jitsu can be for everyone that they start feel more safe to come in. And that's what's supposed to be, and that's what you have to be. It's more than man's been training on the mat. It's human beings. And whenever you think about this, you start to regret the things like, oh, I'm a man, I'm a woman, you know, I am training. That's what I'm looking for. Obviously there is difference, but whenever you understand how can you be training with them with a safety way with each other, that's like the biggest thing. uh, you would see a great school when you walk into the school and has a lot of females on the school. If you see that has a lot of females, that means the culture of that school is good,
Absolutely.
because you know, if they are there, they feel comfortable. Definitely there's something going on over there that is a good thing. You know, right now, I mean, my wife do jiu-jitsu. Even my mom is all right now living in Portugal, and she just started jiu-jitsu,
Oh
you
wow,
know, at
good for
Gracie
her.
Barra as well. You know, so something that make me very happy. I'm not even concerned what's going on over there because I know what we do and I know what they do. You know, same thing with my wife. You know, I can trust she training with anybody else in the school and they're gonna be just fine. You know, so I
Well,
think
I
that the
mean,
biggest
you
thing.
are the professor and the black belt, so they they know they know
Better be,
better.
better be.
You know,
Uh,
when I walked in the door and we chatted for a little bit, and when you said that Bruno was now training jujitsu, I thought, man, you know, that's something very special. And I think that kind of speaks to the culture that she trusts you in building over there in Orem. Um,
mhm.
is there a huge group of women that get together and they beyond the filling out part and they're loving to compete now? Do you have some athletes that's putting some time into competition?
Yes, yes. We just, you know, we started school 6 months ago, and we're having amazing females be training over here. It's a funny fact that is like happening right. We're gonna start happening in like a few hours. Is that the females over here? They got like a girls' night to talk about GPF, to hang out, and over here. So that's organized by some of the students, including my wife Bruna and some of the other students. They organize this, and I think every single woman, including like moms, that the child training, but they don't, but they're gonna be there, talking about jiu-jitsu, talking about all the things, getting together, get to know each other, building the community. And we have been part of the 6 months. We have been part of the two tournaments. That's it. I don't push too much my students to compete every single tournament that they see and whatever, because I believe it's a good experience. If I don't trust the tournament, because there's sometimes over there that's not for everybody, and that's okay. I just don't tell them like you don't go on this one. First tournament was the CompNat, which is the greatest tournament ever. Um, it was about 2 months of school, and then I put around, I think, a little more 30 people competing. You know,
Wow.
so every 2 months of school, I was like, everybody gonna compete, and then I started helping them out and everything. Obviously, it was a lot of adults, some kids over there too, and they have like some females already competing, and then the same female that had compete CompNat, they already compete what we the past one, which is Utah States. So they are understanding the value of jiu-jitsu even in competitions or not competition too. Sometimes like we have like on the CompNat, every single person from Gracie Barra went over there to support, even though they didn't compete. They brought a banner. They put like Gracie Barra is the best and all these things. Something so
Yeah.
fun, and I was like, oh, that's amazing. So even if they are not competing over there, they are on the same time because they are there showing the support and the love. So that's something that we're trying to build together over here. The support. Utah State's with exactly the same thing. Majority of my students over here, not everybody compete, but majority were there supporting. So it's something very fun.
You speak about support, Professor. How do you help your students put together a game plan or a smart plan for training jujitsu?
As soon as they walk into the door and I'll be talking to them, I say this thing like, guys, getting a black belt is not hard. Okay, getting a black belt jiu-jitsu is not hard. The only thing that we're gonna come from you that we expect, and that's something that we're gonna be working together, is the discipline. It's just like saying something from your podcast. Professor Pio was saying over there was amazing. What he said, it's completely true. The way that you organize your life without outside of jiu-jitsu is the same way that you organize your life inside of jiu-jitsu. So when you, like, for example, when you see kids that study for a test and go to school and do all those choices over there, you would do the same thing with jiu-jitsu. We go home, you study jiu-jitsu a little bit, come back and practice and then give it a try and try it again. If you fail, do it again. So I'm always supporting them. The struggles that you're having on the mat, you're not the only one. Okay, you're never gonna be the only one. You're gonna understand how to come out of that struggle. I'll be here, coaches, everybody will be here to support. And the good thing, they're gonna understand this. And as soon as they do understand, the newest people that's gonna go for the same struggle that they had on the beginning, now they're gonna support them. So it became almost like a snowball, which is everybody's trying helping each other. But it does need to come from a good leader. It needs to come from somebody. So whenever you put the energy, that's why probably Professor Nora do the same thing. Whenever he put the energy on the students and they become very good, they're gonna do the same thing for the others. And that's the amazing thing that we do together inside of Gracie Barra and everybody that trains jiu-jitsu. We always trying to make the person better than you and then show them that we are there for them anytime.
I think, when I came back to school after my break, I was about ready to be promoted. But you told me flat out, hey, I mean, you're behind. You need to work very hard, and to get my blue belt from you that day, I feel like without us sitting down talking about it, there was already a plan, right? Because I believe that you care about all the students, but from a person just receiving that support, I mean, it makes you want to do better. So, I mean, I came back to school, I worked hard, and eventually got my blue belt right before you left.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yes.
yeah, I think that you mentioned leadership. I think that leadership also has to be trusted, and I think that
Yes.
you bring that without even trying. I think that people find you genuine. People love to be around you. Um, I think that you have everything, Professor. To be honest, I
Uh,
think that you have everything.
I appreciate it. I always try to, to be better. I believe there's other things that I can be doing always better, but I'm very happy to hear all those things. Thank you. Because, like I said, I had amazing leaders in my life. And one of the greatest leaders, especially because of the past that we have been doing together, is being Professor Flavio. And then the craziest thing I always hear from him, and then is always like it teach you how to be a leader. It's not just understanding like how to be leading somebody. It's just understanding how to also make them a leader. And that's how it became the snowball. You know, they have to understand that whenever it comes from somebody that you trust the most, there's a stronger impact. And man,
Yep.
it's a life. And then when they train jiu-jitsu, a lot of people don't think of this. Maybe they teach jiu-jitsu and they think it's only about fighting. But man, you have so many people's life on your hand that you can be changing for the good and for the bad. So
Yep.
you have the responsibility. So every day I come on the mat, I always thinking about this. Like, doesn't matter what's going on in my day, I'm gonna change everything up because these people need me right now, the best version of myself. Doesn't matter what's going to my life. Afterwards, I'll figure it out. But right now, they need the best version of myself. So that's how I was trying to give it for everybody.
That's leadership, and that's leadership coming from a man that's young and but so mature. I think that the people that you mentioned, as far as being your mentors and people that you trust and support you, I think they will be very proud to hear you say these things because I know that they will see that okay, he got it. So, Professor, go ahead, Professor.
No, no, it was great. It was. I'm always very happy. For me, I think it's like that's what I always say for everybody. Jiu-jitsu is more than fighting. Every day, I say this every day because you're gonna get good jiu-jitsu anyways. You know,
Yep.
so for the teachers, the people that teach jiu-jitsu, just be a good leader, give the best version of yourself, no matter what, because you have somebody's lives on your hand, and then you can be doing something very good.
What's next for Professor Zuza?
There's a lot of things. I believe there's a lot of goals, man. I'm the person that I love settle goals because it makes me a directly line with all I'm looking for. In 2024, definitely going back into the competition is one of the goals. That's my next thing. I have an amazing coach over here, Coach Victor. He's an amazing kid, like very young, very mature too. He's 21 years old. Not saying that I'm much older than him, but uh, he's very mature, and it's definitely the one person that I wanted to put a lot of energy onto it to make him even better than me. So that way he has his dreams coming true. So there's another energy over there onto him. He's already a brown belt, very close to the black belt eventually. He wanted to compete a little more, fine, but there's a lot of energy that I'm gonna put on that person as well. Getting the school even healthier, I believe Gracie Barra can be one of the greatest schools in the world, and then we just need the support from everybody, from here, and then from the students and coaches and professors, everybody, and understanding for what line we're going to. We have amazing kids, amazing adults, so my main goal on the next 5 years, definitely having like up to 500 students, definitely. That's like the goal. And then start going back into competitions and enjoying life in jiu-jitsu and just having a good time because just like I said, I'm living the dream. I always dreamed
Living
to
the
be here.
dream.
I'm meant to be here. That's the goal.
Let me ask you a silly question. Is there anything else that you would like to do other than jujitsu?
Man, that's a good question. Because when I was a kid, I always wanted to be a soccer player. Just like any kid in Brazil, they all want to be a soccer player. And lately, I start losing that dream, and then my goal is jiu-jitsu. That's 100%. I don't think I have a pass in my head any time like my life without jiu-jitsu in any way, any way. Like I at least gonna be trained. That's the minimum. That's like the minimal thing that I can be doing. And if I'm training, I'm teaching. If I'm teaching, I'm here. So it's always like that. But like for me lately, what I've been really, really liking right now because living in Utah, I end up like really like is snowboarding. So that's something that like I'm gonna focus a little bit too in the
I
snow
seen
season.
that. Yep.
You know, so I was like, I'm gonna focus and give it this a try. Let's see how good I can be without breaking myself. We keep training jujitsu. You know, so that's what I'm looking for. As I gotta take care of my body, but that's one thing that I'm be doing over there. But I never imagine my life without jiu-jitsu. Like I can't. I don't. It's not even like a process in my head. It
I knew
doesn't have
that.
that part.
I knew that before I asked the question. Professor, thank you so much for coming on and chatting with me today. I really appreciate that. And, I wanted to steal some footage by surprising you last weekend.
Okay.
So very great to see you. Love seeing you. Love seeing the place. Love what you're doing. Do me a favor and tell everyone over there hello.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure, man. Thank you so much for having me. Like I say, I've been following this podcast since the day one. Always great talk, great people coming over here. You guys sharing a different thing. Like have like I don't think I ever seen that before because every time it comes to jiu-jitsu, people talk about myself, which is normal. Talk about the fighting, but you're showing like a little bit more beyond. A little bit more like deep into it. And that's something that I really liking. I've been listening. Is always a great thing. You guys do a phenomenal job. I know that's something that's gonna get better and better. So if anybody that listen this is definitely, keep listening. It's something that's gonna help. And you guys are doing awesome. So thanks so much for everything that you guys been doing over there with the BTM podcast. The support you guys been doing in CopNet and everything. Every time I see like a kid talking on the CopNet, I was like, there we go. That's a
love
world
that.
champion right there. And that's
Yep.
something I love that thing, So you guys are doing a great job. I'm not in Arizona anymore, but every time I listen to the podcast, I feel I'm there, and then I see the kids. I was like, man, that's cool.
Yeah.
And then you guys giving that feeling, that I am there, and I'm the one that listens to that thing, So thank you guys so much for having me. It's one of the things that I'm very happy about it.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you for saying those things. And, just to hear that from you, I know that I'm on the right track to make this thing better. I think you hit the nail on the head, saying that I want to get more out than just talking about technique and fighting. I think that we all have a story, and I think it's important for the, whoever decides to listen to understand that story. So Thank you again, Professor. Cannot wait to see you again. I am going to try to win some fights tomorrow in nationals. So,
oh yeah, that's true. Good luck on the nationals. There you go.
Cross your fingers for me.
Nice. I will. I'll be cheering. I'll be over here looking everything, not only you, but everybody.
Yep.
I was going to go to the national, but life got busy and eventually I couldn't go there. But hopefully next year I'll be there, and then definitely very soon I'll be in Arizona. So we'll definitely see each other very soon.
Can't wait. Thank you so much, Professor. Don't forget to tell everyone I said hello.
Oh yeah, I will. Thank you very much.
Thank you.